dancers, today's topic is something I really wanted to talk about because there's so many Instagram pages talking about it, and it is, I still need to be thin even if I don't dance anymore. And I don't know if you can relate to this, and when I was writing the outline for this, I really didn't know where to start because I have such a bad relationship with food. I'm gonna start with that. I remember growing up, I was really hormonal. I am quite tall. I have a small face, but my body, I have really wide shoulders, and the director used to say I was really big, or he'd just say when I would be big. But I was really young at that age, so I was maybe 14 at that time, and I remember gaining weight. Since then, I've had a really bad relationship with food. When I was living in the dorm, especially when I was with a company, I would see all my friends eating almost nothing. So, that kind of also pressured me. I mean, each situation is always different, and I just want to point that out, dancers. We all have our own journeys to food. I'm just hoping that this helps you change your mindset about how you feel like with eating, and also what changes, and also maybe make you realize that food isn't at fault. Why are we always blaming it on food? But I'm so glad this pandemic has made me realize that I need to be eating right, and also second, it made me realize what foods I really need. And I would like to thank Us Dance Overseas, Stephanie from Us Dance Overseas, for helping me see that, really. As a teacher even, I used to give really bad advice to dancers. And if you're a dance teacher, I'm sure you can relate to this. It's very hard for me to admit because I myself went through it, and I had to change for my students. And I had to change the way that I think. I always thought that, you don't have to be very, very thin, but, and I always had a fine line of but. And there shouldn't be a but in there. So this is where my vlog is coming from. Okay, so finally, let's get to the topic. I just want to share with you first my story. Of course, I was saying I was living in a dorm. I saw my dance mates not eating properly. I remember one of the older dancers telling me, you just eat a banana and then you drink water and you should be okay. I even have one dorm mate saying she just eats pears all day and nothing else. This was the type of example I had growing up. Look, they are not at fault. Honestly, I think they also just learned it from the older people they see. There was no internet back then. What we had, we didn't have nutritional resources. I don't know. Maybe especially here in the Philippines, there wasn't anything particularly about this type of things, and like how it will affect your bone density, it will affect your body, it will affect your performance and everything. Dancers, I promise you, when I realized all of this, even myself as a teacher changed. My body changed. After I left the company, I had such a difficult time to even accept my own body and the way it was changing, and I could not get fat. And I'm sure you can relate to that. The only thing I could think of was staying thin the way that I was, especially being a dance teacher. So I didn't eat. I used to only eat breakfast, and then my lunch was like really small, and I don't eat dinner at all. Although Japanese have very healthy ways of eating, every time I'd go home, I'd love the food. But the thing is, the food here in the Philippines, it's pretty unhealthy. So I could not eat certain things, and I'd get really guilty, and then I would see my friends eating them, but I don't like it. And I'm a picky eater in a sense because I really like Japanese food, which I will not refuse. But after this pandemic year changed, because it changed my body, I am the same weight as I was in the start of the pandemic. I actually thought that I gained weight. And the reason why I want to show you this is because I can see the difference of a person who exercises more, eats properly, and probably does things more healthily. Although right now in the pandemic, I could be exercising a little more. My body changed a lot compared to the start of the pandemic where I looked like this and the same weight. My point here, dancers, is I want you to see the difference of a person who weighs the same way but looks very different just because of the activities that they're probably doing. Maybe I'm doing more unhealthy things. I would say before the pandemic, I was a little healthier in a sense that I would exercise more, but I wasn't eating properly. But I managed to stay the same weight, eating different things but healthier. Honestly, in this pandemic, maybe I've been a mix of up and down, eating healthy and unhealthy, but a lot healthier now than before, because I used to stuff myself pre-pandemic with junk food. I hope you realize, dancers, that junk food, because I love things like that, like sembe and Japanese crackers. Love stuffing myself with these things. Have a lot more content of like sodium and all these things that make you make you feel fat than, you know, like these things. But I hope that this vlog doesn't give you an answer, but gives you a different point of view of food, just because of the way I also dealt with it. So I'm sharing my journey so that you can realize that eating healthy is fine and it's not gonna change your body all that much, because it sure didn't change mine all that much. And although right now I have a little more fluffiness, it's not as bad as I actually expected it to be. I think that if I would exercise a little more, although I'm in this pandemic and I'm in quarantine right now, it's pretty difficult. It gives you a different relationship to food and the things that you put in your body. If you want to have more resources, go to a nutritionist. It helped me so much to have Instagram and Stephanie and us Dance talk about it, because I was listening to her, and the way I changed the way I eat also, it really changed me. This was the first time last month I stepped on the weighing scale after a year and 8 months, because before this, in pre-pandemic, I was weighing myself every day. It was almost like I was a sick person, and I would really blame myself if the increase in fat percent or even increase in certain body composition, or even like, and I don't know, last year looking at my photos was so different from this year. I actually thought I looked healthy, and I was still carrying my same dancer, post-company dancer mindset back from when I was younger, and that was maybe me when I left the company already 12-13 years ago. And if you're a dancer struggling with this, post-dancer struggling with your weight, I hope that this video finds you and maybe helps you gain a better insight to your bodies. And again, this is Teacher Lina. It's just a short video for today, and I hope that you learn a little something from this, and I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts on it. So thank you, dancers, and happy New Year!